separately. Then I'll
Okay.
talk.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I call to order the April 9th regular meeting of the Huron Board of Education. I will ask Mr. Christofferson to please note the roll call. This time, I'd ask everyone to rise as Frank Hines leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Frank. Our first item is the adoption of the agenda. The most recent agendas are before you. There's still a couple more changes here. Under conflict disclosure and consideration of waivers, there will be one disclosure. And the open enrollment request, we're gonna pull off and move over to new business. And with those changes, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, the agenda is adopted. Moving into dates to remember. April 9th, today, is the second round of certified negotiations. April 9th and 10th, second and third grade parent-teacher conferences from 3:30 to 6:45. April 10th is the school board election from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Huron Arena. That's tomorrow. April 12th, kindergarten, first grade parent-teacher conferences from 3:30 to 6:45. April 23rd, Board of Education meeting, 5:30 in the IPC, and also certified negotiations third round if needed. And the rest of the dates are listed on the agenda. Now we'll move into community input for any items not on the agenda. Is there anybody present for community input? Seeing as how no one's coming forward, we will go into conflict disclosure and consideration of waivers. And our superintendent has one item to disclose.
Yes, although the law does not require that I do this, I want to disclose that I've been made aware that I do have a relative who will be applying for a position in the Huron School District. They're not a member of my household, but I want to disclose that that I have been notified of an applicant.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nebelseck. Moving into the consent agenda. The superintendent of schools recommends approval of the following: approval and/or correction of minutes of previous meetings, consideration and approval of bills, approval and/or correction of the financial report. We have 3 new hires to the district that require board approval to be covered by a workman's compensation plan. We have 3 contracts for board approval. Kayla McLeod, a third grade teacher at the Madison 2-3 Center, salary $42,529 per year. Amber Weber, third grade teacher at Madison 2-3 Center, salary of $42,529 per year. And Lindsay Edwards, special ed teacher, elementary or middle school, salary of $42,363 per year. We have 3 resignations for board approval. Leah Youngeman, TAP program with 2 years service. Karen Kari, food service with 2 years of service. Sherry Nelson, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Assessment and Accreditation and Marketing, and Tiger After School Program with 24 years of service. We have classified requests to be recognized for negotiation purposes. For custodial and maintenance personnel, Dean Hirschkorn and Dale Shoemaker. For food service personnel, Vicki Davis and Janet Johnson. Full-time personnel, Tanya Whitmore and Pam Beal. Paraeducators, building secretaries are Angie Botel and Mandy Hofer. And instructional aides, Pat Van Vliet, Joyce Morris, and Dana Winter. We have a few grant applications. We have Ann Blonheim at the Washington 4-5 Center applying for a $499 Huron Community Foundation grant for hands-on activities, video, and science. We have Colleen Jensen from Destination Imagination applying for a $3,500 Huron United Way grant for Destination Imagination Community Outreach. Carrie Hinkers applying for a $4,000 United Way for preschool partnership to provide tuition assistance to local families and create more opportunity for 3- and 4-year-olds to attend preschools. We have Mike Taplett from the Huron Middle School applying for a United Way Heartland Region grant for $5,000 for homework completion after school transportation. And we have a permission to bid milk and dairy products for the 2018-19 school year. That's our consent agenda. We can pass it with one motion, or if any board member would like to pull any other item out, we can do so.
Move approval of consent?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. Now I'll turn it over to Mr. Nebelsack as he celebrates the successes in our district.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to Garrett and Brooke Schmidt, Garrett's third grade teacher, on the birth of their daughter Kennedy J., born on March 17th. The following varsity athletic teams and fine art groups have achieved the combined grade point average of 3.0 or higher and are eligible to receive the South Dakota High School Activities Association Academic Achievement Award, the one-act play cast, the gymnastics team, the wrestling team, the debate and individual events, the girls basketball team, the all-state band, the vocal solo ensemble group, the band solo ensemble group. Congratulations to Builders First Source, Nolan Kleinsaucer is the store manager, and Kent Schneider is the outside sales, for being presented the Friends of CTE Award. Thank you for the continued support and dedication to the buildings trade program at HHS. That organization has been a critical component in the students building a home each year. To Dallas Shannon, Cian Halber, Ethan Fetzer, Dayton Matthews, and Unified Partners Briley Hickey, Gianna Proya, Jeremiah Meyer, and Jocelyn Watson for winning first place in the Special Olympic basketball tournament held in Mitchell. The team managed by Jalen Kerner and coaches Scott Rutledge, Linda Rutledge, and Aubrey Rutledge. Cassidy Baszler, congratulations to Cassidy Baszler, Georgia Meyer, Mackenzie Etterman, Delaney Cass, Aldaya Muntz, and the Unified Partners Caitlin Richwalski and Mackenzie Jensen for winning first place in the cheerleading competition at the Special Olympic basketball tournament. Team coached by Amanda Katzenberger, who's also the SPED teacher at Huron Middle School. Congratulations to Gavin Rutledge, Leah Tarbox, Brian Aranke, Dominic Bergman, and Tyler Wood, and Poe Say for placing third in Special Olympic basketball. Team coached by Dan and Haley Hefner. Congratulations to Brian Aranke and Dallas Shannon for winning the Spirit of Sportsmanship Awards at that tournament. Congratulations to Kobe Bush for being named the second-team All-State in Class AA boys basketball. To Jolie Carrillo, first place, Caden Caudell and Mousse Pa, second place, and Jalen Hamilton, third place in the Beetle County Conservation District Arbor Day Essay Contest for 2018. Congratulations to Drew Arteman, Tanner Cronin, Stephen DeGeest, Cooper Johnson, Roger Puterbaugh, Mustafa Saeed, and Katie Schoenfelder for placing second place in the South Dakota State Destination Imagination Tournament. Congratulations to Olivia Anderson, night and day, Mackenzie Paulson, Gabby Escobar Salanik, Raquel Sanchez, Asibia Smith, and Maria Sanchez for placing third in the South Dakota State Destination Imagination Tournament. Our thank yous go out to Washington 4-5 Center teachers for their hard work in preparing and conducting spring conferences. Conferences well attended, that report from Mrs. Beth Foss. And to Chris Clays for celebrating Music in Our Schools Month by inviting parents to visit their children's music classes. Thank you to all parents, family members that were able to attend. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll move into board reports. Our first is Kelly with his business manager's report.
Tonight I have a report on the general fund. We're 75% of the way through fiscal year 2017-2018. So far, we've collected $12,400,000 of revenue, which is 64% of the budget. Last year at this time, we'd collected $11,653,000, or 65% of that budget. So far, we have spent $12,330,000, which is about 64% of the budget. Last year at this time, we'd spent $11,835,000, which was also 64% of the budget. That's my report.
Any questions for Kelly? Thank you, sir. Now we will turn to Mr. Nebelsack for his superintendent's report.
Thank you. I'm going to focus on the staffing updates of a couple of things. Our orchestra program, under the direction of Mia, has increased to 200 students, and we have passed the place where one person could handle all of the students, the Mia Cruz. The growth has been tremendous. It's a tribute to her, and so we are moving forward on adding an orchestra person. This is actually the third in 3 steps where you've supported music. The first one was we gradually grew the third position in elementary vocal as the schools each grew, so now they have one of their own. Last year you added a band position, and so I am ready to go to advertising with the orchestra position in order to continue to meet significant demands that have changed from when we had 1,800 students to now 2,700 students, and the impact that that has on activities. So wanted you to be aware of that. Obviously, we are now advertising for 2 positions as a result of Mrs. Nelson's resignation. And so we'll be very active in the advertising for both of those positions in the coming 2 weeks. The third one is that we also have been managing the same buildings and the same level of transportation all under one person. I've been trying to keep each of you informed that we're in the process of putting together a plan so that we can manage the leadership of both of those programs. And so I want to make sure that you're aware of those things that are going on. That's my report at this time. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions for Mr. Nebelsack? Okay, we have no old business, so we'll move into new business. First item of new business is authorizing our membership in the South Dakota High School Activities Association. This is a resolution we do annually. I'm going to ask for a motion to approve this.
So moved. Second.
And moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or questions?
This is what makes Huron schools eligible to compete in the playoff system with all of the different sports and to follow their rule books and all of that. You must be a member of the Activities Association if you're going to compete against the other schools.
Thank you, sir. Okay, there seems to be no further questions or comments, so we will vote. Voting on the school board resolution to authorize our membership in the South Dakota High School Activities Association. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. Our next item is health insurance renewal for the 2018-19 school year. I'll ask for a motion and a second to open it up for discussion.
So
Motion to
moved.
approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Kelly, do you have any comments on this?
Sure. There's a memo in your packet that explains the few changes that we have this year, but it's a wonderful year to be with our current pool that we're in. We have a 1% increase on our current rates, which was on following a year where we only had 2%, which was following 2 years where we didn't have any increase. So for some reason, we're on quite a roll with our health insurance plan. There are a couple coverage changes this year. The out-of-pocket maximum is going up $250 for a single or $500 for a family. What that means is after the deductible is met, you go into a 80-20 coverage, 80% paid by insurance, 20% out of your pocket. So you'll have to pay 20% until you've paid out another $1,750. So the out-of-pocket maximum for a single is $2,750 because we have a $1,000 deductible. The other change is the addition of another class of policy that can be purchased called employee independence. So employees who just need coverage for themselves and their children can now buy employee independence, which gives them a break on premium because before they would have been forced to buy employee plus family. And I have the rates in the next paragraph. So our single is going to be $726 per month. Employee plus one coverage is $1,451. Employee plus dependents will be $1,313, and family coverage will be $1,813. So people that can take advantage of the employee independence coverage instead of buying the family plan are going to save themselves $500 a month.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. Is there any further discussion or any questions? Seeing none, we will vote. We're voting on the health insurance renewal for the 2018-19 school year. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. Our next item is the workers' compensation agreement for the 2018-19 school year. It also includes coverage for volunteers and school board members. We have this agreement in our board packet. I'll ask for a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Kelly, any comments on this?
Yes. Workers' compensation is of the three types of insurance we buy from the Associated School Boards, workers' compensation is doing the best out of all three funds. Our other fund is property liability. We have property liability, health, and workers' compensation. Workers' compensation has a lot of cash on hand from over the years. They had an actuary study this year. They have $12 million on hand. The actuary says you probably only need $6 million on hand to run this fund. So they're going to start giving back some of that $6 million. They're going to give it back based on current members' cumulative contributions to the fund since 1998. So Huron's been in there the whole time contributing. So they're going to give back $600,000 this year, and our share of that was $42,000. So we got a $42,000 knocked off of our premium this year, which is nice. So actually, it's after you take into account the increase in the amount of payroll we have, because you pay workers' compensation insurance based on the amount of your payroll. The rates didn't really change. We'll pay in $31,000 less this year than we have in past years, and we should be able to look forward to that for, depending on how they want to hand out this extra money that they have. If they spread it out over 10 years, we'll get a break for 10 years, but if they give it back faster, we'll get a faster break.
It is good news. Is there any questions or further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will vote. We're voting on the workers' compensation agreement for the 2018-19 school year. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. Our next item is an amendment to contract services agreement between Pro PT and the Huron School District. Kelly, do you want to comment on this one?
This is mainly a contract for special ed services, speech and language, and physical therapy from Pro PT. They have adjusted the rates slightly and extended the contract. Lori Waylander actually did the work on that. I don't have too many more details other than that.
It's pretty straightforward, so I'm going to ask for a motion to approve this.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the amendment to the contract services agreement between Pro PT and the Huron School District. Is there any further discussion? David?
I guess I missed this. What was the change? What's the amendment that's being done?
It's probably the last page in the full packet.
Yeah.
It's just laying out the hourly rates.
Oh, okay,
It's 2 pages. There's the
Front page up
document,
here.
and then there's the
okay.
Okay.
So, okay. Okay, and so the rates on page 2 are what are changing?
Yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, we will vote. Voting on an amendment to the contract services agreement between Pro PT and the Huron School District. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. Our final item of new business is the 2 open enrollment requests, OE 2017-17 and OE 2017-18. Going to ask Mr. Nevelsek to comment on this.
Thank you. And I appreciate Mr. Christopherson picking this up, that when it said in the consent agenda, request for approval, it should have said request for disapproval or request for rejection. I have been in communication with the parent, and they are aware of what my recommendation would be. They know that if they do wind up moving to the school district, we'd take care of it immediately, but that with the number of weeks left and our ability to meet their accommodations, it did not fit the criteria of unique and special circumstances. So I anticipate and welcome the young people in the fall, but it's my recommendation that they be rejected at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion to deny open enrollment request OE 2017-17 and OE 2017-18.
So moved.
Second?
And moved and seconded to deny open enrollment requests 2017-17 and 2017-18. Is there any further discussion or comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, we will vote. We are voting on denying open enrollment requests 2017-17 and 2017-18. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, motion carries. This completes the business portion of our agenda. We need to go into executive session for 2 items. One, in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2 subsection 1, discussing the qualifications, competence, performance, character, or fitness of any public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employees. And also subsection 4, preparing for contract negotiations or negotiating with employees or employee representatives.
So moved.
Got a one motion, is there a second? Okay, got the second finally. Got a motion and a second to go into executive session for these 2 items. Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Okay, we'll take a short recess and reconvene in Mrs. Nelson's office for these 2 items. There'll be no further action taken tonight, so this completes the public portion of our agenda.